You connected the jumper cables, gave the battery a boost, and turned the key, but the car still won't start. So what does that actually tell you? Is the battery really dead? Is the jump not delivering enough power? Or is the problem somewhere else entirely? The important thing is, a failed jump start does not automatically mean you need a new battery. In this video, we're going to figure out what your car is actually telling you, starting with one simple clue: what happens when you turn the key. By the end, you'll know what to check, what each symptom means, and which problem is most likely keeping your car from starting. Let's start there. Number 1. Pay attention to what happens when you turn the key. Before you touch another part, turn the key and listen carefully, because the first thing your car does or doesn't do can tell you where to look next. So ask yourself one simple question: what happens when I try to start it? If you get absolutely nothing, no click, no crank, the problem may be somewhere in the battery connection, the cables, the safety switch, or the starting circuit. If you hear one loud click, but the engine doesn't turn over, that's a different clue. Now the starter and its high current connections become much more suspicious. But what if the engine cranks normally and still won't start? That's important, because now the starter is doing its job. The problem may not be the jump start or the battery at all. You're dealing with a different type of starting problem. So don't just ask, "Why won't my car start?" First, figure out what the car is actually doing when you turn the key. That one clue tells us which direction to go next. Number 2. Check the battery terminals and connections. If your car gives you no crank or just a click, the first thing to rule out is a bad connection, because even if the battery has plenty of power, that power is useless if it can't get through the terminals and cables. Start at the battery. Look at both terminals and check for white, green, or powdery corrosion. Then make sure the clamps are tight. With the engine off, gently try to move each terminal by hand. They shouldn't twist or feel loose. While you're there, follow the battery cables and look for obvious damage, especially around the ground connection to the engine or body. Here's why this matters. A poor connection can create enough resistance to keep the starter from getting the current it needs, even when another vehicle is connected with jumper cables. So before you blame the battery or the starter, make sure the electrical path is clean, tight, and secure. And if everything here checks out, don't stop there. The next question is whether your jumper cables are actually delivering enough power to the car. Number 3. Check the jumper cable connection. So the battery terminals are clean and tight, but the car still won't start. Before we move on, there's one thing you need to rule out. Is the jump start actually getting enough power into the car? Start by checking the jumper cable connections. Make sure both clamps have a solid grip on clean metal. The positive clamp should be firmly connected to the positive battery terminal. For the negative side, use the proper connection point for the vehicle, either the negative terminal or a solid, unpainted metal ground point, depending on the manufacturer's instructions. Then, take a close look at the cables themselves. If they're very thin, damaged, or poorly made, they may not be able to deliver enough current to crank the engine, especially on a larger engine. This is where you might find yourself thinking, "Car won't jump start, but battery is good," and that can absolutely happen. The battery may be fine. The problem could simply be that the power from the donor vehicle isn't reaching the starter the way it should. So make sure the clamps are secure, reposition them if necessary, and try the jump again. But if you have a solid connection and the engine still gives you one click or refuses to crank at all, then we've ruled out some of the easiest possibilities. Now it's time to look at one of the most likely suspects, the starter motor. Number 4. Check the starter motor. So, the battery connections are good, and the jumper cables are connected properly, but when you turn the key, the engine still doesn't crank. At this point, the starter becomes a much stronger suspect. Listen carefully to what you hear. If you get one loud click, but the engine doesn't turn over, the starter solenoid may be engaging, while the starter motor itself isn't spinning. That can happen when the starter has worn or sticking internal components. There's a quick test you can try. Have someone sit in the driver's seat and turn the key while you gently tap the starter with a solid tool or heavy stick. Don't hit it hard, and stay clear of any moving parts. If the engine suddenly cranks after you tap the starter, that's a useful clue that the starter may have an internal problem, but don't treat that result as absolute proof. The starter should still be properly tested before you replace it. And what if you don't hear a click at all? Then the starter itself may not be the problem. The issue could be somewhere in the starter control circuit that's supposed to tell the starter to engage. So if the battery and jump connections check out, and the car still refuses to crank, there's one more simple thing we should rule out before going deeper. Does the car actually recognize that it's in the correct gear to start? Number 5. Try starting in neutral. But here's something many people overlook. Your battery can be good, your jumper cables can be connected correctly, and the starter itself can be fine. The car still may not crank simply because it doesn't recognize that it's safe to start. Here's a quick test. If the car does nothing in park, move the shifter into neutral and try starting it again. If the engine suddenly cranks in neutral, that's a very important clue. It can point to a problem with the neutral safety switch, transmission range sensor, or the adjustment of the shifter mechanism. And the reason this test matters is that it costs you nothing and takes only a few seconds. So before you start buying a new starter or battery, try this first. But what if it still won't crank in either park or neutral? Then we've eliminated another major possibility, and there's one problem left that people often assume they've already ruled out simply because they try to jump: the battery itself. Number 6. Consider a bad or internally damaged battery. Now you might be thinking, wait, if I already tried a jump, how could the battery still be the problem? That's a fair question. A jump start can help a weak battery, but it doesn't automatically prove that the battery is healthy. An old or internally damaged battery can have a failed cell or an internal short. And when that happens, the battery may not accept or hold a charge properly, even with another vehicle connected. So here's what you should pay attention to. When the jumper cables are connected correctly, do the lights stay extremely weak? Does the electrical system behave strangely? Does the engine barely react even with a strong jump source? If so, the battery itself may still need to be tested. And there's an important distinction here. Lights coming on does not automatically mean the battery is good. A proper battery test is a much better way to confirm its condition than simply checking whether the dashboard or headlights turn on. But remember, if the engine is actually cranking normally and simply won't fire, don't keep chasing the battery. At that point, you're dealing with a different problem. Now, there's one final scenario we need to cover. What if the car actually starts with the jump, but then dies after the cables come off? That's going to point us in a completely different direction. Number 7. If the car starts with a jump but dies afterward. Now here's where the situation changes completely. What if the jump start actually works? The engine starts, you remove the jumper cables, and everything seems fine. Then the car stalls. Or maybe it stays running for a few minutes and suddenly dies. If that happens, don't go back and blame the battery right away. The real question now is the car actually producing its own electrical power once the engine is running? That's where the charging system comes in. The alternator is responsible for supplying electrical power while the engine is running and helping recharge the battery. So if the car starts with a jump but quickly dies afterward, a failing alternator or another problem in the charging system becomes a much stronger suspect. You may also notice warning signs like a battery warning light on the dashboard, dimming lights, or other electrical problems while the engine is running. And here's why this matters. If the charging system isn't working, replacing the battery alone may only solve the problem temporarily. The new battery can eventually go dead too, because the car isn't properly recharging it. So now we've covered the major situations. No crank, one click, normal crank, but no start, or starts with a jump and then dies. Each one points us in a different direction. And now we can put all of those clues together and figure out what you should actually check first. Number 8. Final diagnosis. What your symptoms are telling you. Now let's put all of those clues together. You already know that a jump start failing doesn't automatically mean the battery is bad. So here's how to read what your car is telling you. If you turn the key and get nothing at all, no click and no crank, start with the battery terminals, ground connections, safety switch, and starter circuit. If you hear one loud click but the engine doesn't turn over, pay closer attention to the starter motor and the high current connection supplying it. If the engine cranks normally but won't start, stop focusing on the battery and starter. The engine is already turning, so you're dealing with a different type of problem. And if the car starts with a jump but dies shortly afterward, the charging system becomes the stronger suspect, especially the alternator. That's the key to diagnosing a no-start problem. Don't guess the part. Follow the symptom. A click doesn't automatically mean you need a starter. A dead battery doesn't automatically mean you need a new battery. And a battery that keeps going flat doesn't automatically mean the battery itself is the problem. Use the symptoms to decide what to test next, and test the likely cause before spending money on parts you may not need. So, if your car won't start even with a jump, don't automatically assume you need a new battery. Use the symptoms to guide you. No sound, one click, a normal crank, or a car that starts and then dies. Each one tells you to look in a different direction. The goal isn't to replace parts and hope for the best. It's to find the actual problem before you spend money on something you may not need. And the next time you're asking, why won't my car start even with a jump? You'll know where to start. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I hope this video helped you understand what your car may be telling you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.